The story begins with our hapless hero, Kaido Takagi, using insect spray to hunt a slime in a dungeon. He successfully kills the slime and collects its core. Kaido is pleased to have finally come up with a name for his insect spray attack. Reflecting on his journey, he realizes it has been 2 years since he started exploring dungeons. Despite his efforts, Kaido is disappointed to still be hunting slimes on the first floor of the dungeon. Having just killed his 999 slime, he feels like a mere mob hunter among explorers. He considers ending his exploration after reaching a milestone of 1,000 kills. Determined, he searches the dungeon for one more slime, noting that the dungeon is equipped with cameras. Kaido then encounters a golden slime, which he deems the perfect prey for his 1,000th kill. He stealthily approaches the slime and attempts to kill it with his insect spray, but the slime dodges. Forced to escalate, Kaido pulls out his insecticide gun and successfully takes it down. Proud of his achievement, Kaido boasts that no one can escape his insecticide gun. However, he is surprised to find that he didn't level up. Checking his stats, he notices that despite the slime being a rare monster, he gained little experience. He consoles himself with the thought that he might sell its magic core for a high price. Upon closer inspection, Kaido discovers that the slime dropped something other than a magic core. It's a servant card, and he can't believe his luck. Examining the card, he learns that it allows him to summon a Valkyrie named Sylphie, who possesses impressive stats. Ecstatic, Kaido thinks his miserable life might finally turn around. He checks to see if anyone saw him with the card and confirms that he's alone. There aren't any cameras in the room either. Realizing the value of his find, he resolves to keep the card a secret from everyone else. He searches the internet for information about Sylphie, but comes up empty. Remembering that Valkyries are supposed to be demigods from mythology, he wonders if he's holding a rare card. Deciding to leave the labyrinth, Kaido plans to gather more information about Sylphie. On his way out, he encounters some real adventurers and envies their armor and weapons. He hopes that selling the servant card might help him fulfill his dream of owning such gear. The scene shifts to Kaido selling the 3 slime cores he collected throughout the day. Each core sells for 500 yen, netting him a total of 1,500 yen. As he prepares to leave, he remembers the card and asks the appraiser about the potential value of a rare servant card, stressing that it's purely hypothetical. The appraiser mentions that she heard of a rare god-type card once being traded overseas for 1 billion yen. Kaido then puts his belongings, including the servant card, into a locker at the facility, dreaming about having 1 billion yen. He leaves the facility with visions of wealth filling his mind, maintaining this daydream all the way to the train station. At the station, Kaido meets his friends Shinji and Hayato. We learn that because they have exploration cards, they can enter the facility anytime they want for free. Kaido reminds them that these cards are not meant for playing in the park around the facility. The 3 of them board the train together. During their conversation, Kaido reveals that he is still stuck at level 3 and suggests they explore the dungeon again. His friends, however, are reluctant. They remind Kaido of their disastrous first attempt as explorers when they ventured to the 2nd floor of the labyrinth to fight a goblin, only to get thoroughly defeated. Although they recovered quickly thanks to a potion, they've had enough of that life. They now prefer playing in the park, and they question why Kaido hasn't grown tired of killing slimes for the past 2 years. Kaido vaguely mentions that he has a lot going on. The scene shifts to Kaido walking home. A girl living next door notices him returning. Later, during dinner, his parents express concern that his part-time work might interfere with his studies. Kaido reassures them that he is managing fine. From the ongoing TV broadcast, we learn that dungeons appeared in the real world 13 years ago. While taking a bath, Kaido contemplates whether summoning the servant he obtained could make him stronger and enable him to explore deeper floors of the dungeon. He fantasizes about the possibilities that 1 billion yen could bring new equipment weapons, and anything else he desires. He is torn between summoning Sylphie and selling the card. The next morning, the scene shifts to Kaido heading to school. He meets the girl next door, Haruka, on the way. They walk to school together, and everyone stares at the beautiful Haruka as they pass by. Not wanting anyone to get the wrong idea, Kaido slows his pace, but Haruka matches his speed, walking alongside him. She mentions seeing him return home the previous night and asks where he went. Kaido hides the fact that he visited the dungeon, instead telling her that he went to a boys' party with his friends. They meet up with Shinji and Hayato along the way, and Kaido privately asks them not to tell Haruka about his dungeon visit. They agree. Haruka asks what they did at the boys' party, and the three friends give different answers, unable to settle on a single activity. This inconsistency angers Haruka, who suspects Kaido went to the dungeon again. Kaido firmly denies it, and Haruka chooses to believe him. Together, they continue on to school. During lunch break, Kaido asks his friends what they would do if they obtained a rare servant card. They quickly respond that they would sell it immediately, as these cards are worth millions of yen, and the servants they summon can only be used in the dungeons. Kaido agrees, saying he would also sell it. His friends advise him to think about it when he actually gets a servant card. In class, while the teacher is lecturing, Kaido reflects on his friend's advice. He acknowledges that they are right. He can't sell the card if he uses it, and he has no guarantee that the summoned servant will be useful. Yet, he feels the need to prove himself to the girl he loves. Later, Kaido returns to the dungeon, seeking an area without cameras. He decides to use the card and become a hero. He summons the Valkyrie named Sylphie, and a giant girl with wings appears before him. However, she soon disappears, leaving Kaido bewildered. He then notices a little girl standing in front of him, who greets him. She introduces herself as Sylphie, the Valkyrie he summoned. Disappointed by her small stature, Kaido feels his dreams of becoming a hero are crushed and regrets not selling the card for 1 billion yen. When Sylphie asks if something is wrong, he assures her he is fine and suggests they go hunt slimes. As they search for slimes, Sylphie tells Kaido she can sense a slime nearby. He is surprised by her ability to detect monsters and follows her to the slime. Realizing her powers are genuine, Kaido decides to test them and asks Sylphie to kill the slime. She uses an attack called Divine Lightning, which is overkill for the small monster. This display of power impresses Kaido, who remembers her battle power is 170, 17 times higher than his. Sylphie then embarrassingly admits she is hungry and will collapse if she doesn't eat. Kaido remembers that servants consume magic cores and feeds her the slime's core, satisfying her hunger. Sylphie senses another slime and heads towards it, but Kaido stops her. He realizes that while she can sense slimes, using her powers to kill them makes her hungry, requiring more magic cores to replenish her strength. He concludes that this method would neither bring profit nor loss. After thinking it over, Kaido asks Sylphie where the slime is. She leads him to the monster, and he kills it with his insect spray. Kaido believes that by using Sylphie's ability to locate slimes and his own method to kill them, he can make a good profit. After killing several slimes, Kaido notices he has leveled up, with his battle points increasing by 2. He also gains a new skill called Slime Slayer, which is awarded to those who have mastered combat with slimes. This skill boosts all of his stats by 50% when fighting slimes. Kaido feels a bit disappointed that his new skill, Slime Slayer, only increases his stats while fighting slimes. Sensing his mood, Sylphie cheers him up by telling him that having any skill is amazing. This encouragement brings tears to Kaido's eyes, and he decides to end his exploration for the day. Sylphie, saddened by the news, asks if he will summon her again soon. He promises her that he will, which makes her happy before he sends her back to the card. Afterwards, Kaido goes to sell the magic cores he collected. The appraiser is surprised at the amount he collected in one day. Kaido explains that he was just lucky to encounter so many slimes. The appraiser tells him that he has set a new record for the number of slimes killed in one day and pays him 15,000 yen for all the cores. Later, Kaido is lying on his bed at home, thinking about Sylphie's amazing power. He considers the possibility of venturing to the second floor of the dungeon with her, though he feels a bit scared about facing goblins. As he drifts off to sleep, he dreams about his childhood. In the dream, Kaido and Haruka are watching the news about Haruka's father, a well-known dungeon explorer. Her father, in a news interview, states that one day he will uncover the truth about dungeons and reveal it to the world, which excites young Kaido. The next morning, Kaido wakes up with a determined resolve. He decides to venture to the second floor of the labyrinth. The scene shifts to him at the entrance to the second floor with Sylphie by his side. Sylphie assures him that she will do her best to support him. As they descend to the second floor, Kaido resolves that one day he will uncover the truth about the dungeons and become a hero like Haruka's father. This brings an end to our episode 1. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to not miss the next part.